What's up everyone, and welcome to another episode of Online Builds, a show I'm kind of doing where I go online and configure a car based off what I would probably buy. Today's car or cars is going to be the 2019 Chevy Camaro. Two options I would be looking at. The Turbo 1LE and a 1SS 1LE. Two very different cars, but at two very different price ranges. So let's start by going to Chevy's website. Go to vehicles, Camaro. Now for some reason they still have the 2018. My guess is they have a lot of them out there that they have to sell, so you gotta go to 19. Ugh, that looks terrible. But I think that's a discussion for another day. The questionable front end refresh on the 2019 SS. Turbo doesn't look too bad, but that SS, I don't know, that's not my style. But personally, I do think it does look better in 1LE trim. So we'll go over here to build a price. As you can see, I've already started building one, but let me go and start over here. So we'll start with the Turbo 1LE here. So I believe the Turbo you can only get starting in the 1LT. And that's kind of the one I would go with. It's kind of base model. It's got the base screen. Yeah, but a lot of components from the SS still. Still a decent interior, I think, given Chevrolet's past. So colors. Now for me personally, I'm honestly torn between a Riverside Blue, which I think looks really good in person, Summit White, which always looks good, clean, maybe some Crush. You know, for this one, I think I'm going to go Riverside Blue for the Turbo. So, as you can see, we have the $4,500 1LE package for the Camaro. You can see all the things here that it comes with. It's basically a track package or track focused 4-cylinder. Nothing really changed with the engine at all, just a handling package, bigger wheels, bigger tires, so a limited slip differential, some cooling additions to it. So stick with that. Now, believe what I would do is, I like the black interior package with the suede knee pads. The plastic ones in my car, when I'm autocrossing, every now and then, if my knee hits it, it will pop out and fall around the floor. So maybe the Allen Carto or suede ones will stick better or just not fall off as much. But I do also like the black door accents, so I'm gonna pick the black interior package. Yeah, I really like that blacked out. Wish you could black out the door handles and maybe this here, but you know, you might be able to do that with some customization later. Exterior, since we're choosing the 1LE, there isn't really much that I would want to do. Let's see. Dual mode exhaust is for the V8s and would come on the 1LE package for the V8. Interior. Now here's something that it's not necessary. I think the seats are plenty good in the SS that I have and that come in the Turbo 1LE, but I'm going to select the Recaros anyway, just to see if we built one kind of balls to the wall what a Turbo 1LE would go for. So we got the Recaro seats, the black interior trim. I think that looks good now. something that's not really necessary because I think they all come with XM anyway, but you could get the technology package, which gives you the larger screen, which is kind of nice. It looks less cheap, I would say, than the small screen, but not necessary. But to each their own. After having a V8 with that screen, I would probably get that screen because it's really nice. Personally, I don't know if I could ever do a Turbo 1LE after owning a 1SS V8. I really like it. Having the same car with a smaller engine might not be as fun to me. On the street, I think autocross-wise, it would almost probably be better because you don't have all that weight hanging over the front end. The Camaro tends to get a little pushy. So, that's what we're looking at as far as a Turbo 1LE goes. And at that price, you're looking at, where is it here? Oh, there it is. 33.6. That's not too bad for essentially what autocross-wise would be a Type R competitor. These go in the same classes. So you're paying about the same as a Civic Type R. That said, the Civic Type R is probably a little more special and won't depreciate in value as much, most likely. But nice, relatively affordable with some fairly expensive options on there. Rear-wheel drive sports car. I mean, if you look at some of the BRZs and 8.6s out there, depending on what package you go with, you're looking at 26 to, I've seen some listed for 32. And I've had a BRZ and I really liked it, but you know, you get a pretty decent looking sports car. I definitely think the refresh on the Turbo is a heck of a lot better than the V8. But yeah, 36 or 33.6, that's pretty good. Not to mention whatever incentives GM has out there on these cars, or just in general. GM always has some fairly good incentives depending on the time of year. So now we'll start with the V8. And for me, I would go with the 1SS. Drive, select. I'm sorry, that's just... Now, I have actually seen this in person. It was on a black car, and I will say it does look a lot better in person. It doesn't look as out of place. That said, it doesn't look super great. Compared to the car I have now, I think the car I have looks good. It does look a little bit like the last generation, which I think is why sales figures aren't as great on the car, because normal people don't understand it's a completely new car. But that said, I mean, that's questionable, but to each their own. So, 1SS, colors, I'm gonna do crush on this one. Then we'll do package. Now, the 1LE package comes with the Recaros, it comes with the dual mode exhaust. So, select. Yeah, it's something about this splitter on the new front end. Just looking at them online, it does look a heck of a lot. It makes this front end look better. It makes it look more purposeful with that chin on there, that lower chin spoiler. That may just be my opinion, but this looks more aggressive because of this front lower splitter. And it's definitely more aggressive than the 17-18 splitter. So I would also do the black interior package on that. Right. Exterior, there isn't really anything I can add or would want to add. A lot of people do like, and I have to find it because I don't normally add this, the performance data recorder. It's a cool idea. I like it. For me personally, it's not worth the $1,300, I don't think, mainly because the video quality isn't as good as if I were to put this camera in the car for a track day. That said, you get, it's basically a data recorder. So you get your RPMs in the video, you get, I think, your G's in the video, what gear you're in, what speed you have. It's very cool for, posting track day videos, but for me, it's just not worth the $1,300 for me. But most of them that you will find online will have that. So I'm just gonna add that in anyway, because it's very rare, unless you specifically order one, that a dealership didn't put that in there. They know the 1LE is a track car, so they tend to put that stuff on there. And other than that, got the black interior. So yeah, I mean, personally, I think that's an awesome looking car. It is, I mean, it's even good in blue. I actually really like this blue in the 1LE package, and Summit White always looks fantastic in these packages. Very Stormtrooper-like. So, 1LE package with a few, well, just one option actually, the PDR. You're looking at about $46,400, and that's kind of before any incentives or rebates that GM generally has on these cars. You can find them cheaper. It's all a matter of finding a dealership that actually posts it on cars.com or whatever website for what they're selling it for. Again, same with the last video I did. You put an inquiry out there, it shows the car out there for, what, let's say there was one out there, this specific car, for $42,000, and I put an inquiry out. Cool. Come back, it's 45 something. So not as much as like actual sticker was, and I think some of that has to do with incentives. From what I understand, the incentives are based on where you live. So even though if I were to buy a car in Illinois or Minnesota or wherever, the incentives are based on where I live in Wisconsin, which kind of sucks, but whatever. And you got taxes as well, which taxes are cheaper here than I think Illinois. So yeah. Well, everybody, that's today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know some people are looking at Camaros. I really like my Camaro, and honestly, if it weren't for a few issues I have during autocross, I wouldn't even be looking at another car. I love the car daily. It sounds good. It's not that bad on gas. I don't drive a whole lot in the winter anyway, and I do drive mine year round. It's a good winter car, put some winter tires on it, but if it weren't for a few autocrossing issues, I wouldn't even be shopping for another Camaro, even though I do really like those 1LEs. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe, just so you don't miss any more episodes. And I will see you guys all next time. Have a good day.